Hey everyone, it's Paige. We're back for another YouTube video today, and we are going to talk about wedges. I've talked about wedges before and I showed you some drills that you can do, but we're just going to go over some wedge basics today that's really going to help you out. People will spend hours on their driver and trying to hit it farther. Shooting lower scores really comes down to perfecting your wedges. 100 yards and in, that's where you score and that's where you save a lot of shots. I feel like I'm a pretty decent wedge player, and it comes down to a lot of practice. So I'm going to give you some helpful tips, but you're going to have to spend time on the range and on the golf course. Practice, practice, practice. You need to work on your wedges, and seriously, if you only have 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however amount of time, make sure you're working on your short game and on your wedges, because like I said again, this is the fastest way to drop shots off your score. And we're gonna really simplify it and make it easy. I know a lot of people really struggle with their wedge shots because it's off a tight lie, they get a little nervous, and you see them hit it fat and kind of lift up, or they'll hit it thin, and let's just say you hit a really great drive, you have 65 yards into the green, and you blade it over and you make double. We're not gonna have that happen anymore. So I'm gonna give you some simple and easy tips that are really gonna help you with your wedges. So the first thing I like to do is grab more club and swing easy. I see so many people try to hit a 60-degree wedge as hard as they possibly can, and that's where you get those really thin shots, those fat shots, and then also you adding so much spin onto the golf ball. You don't really need to spin your wedges all that much. You need to control the spin and control the distance. So that's why I like to grab extra club, choke down on it, and swing easy. And choking down on it is essential. You have to choke down on it because that's going to give you more control when you're hitting these shots. And that's what it all is. When it comes to wedges, it's not how far you can hit it, it's hitting it an exact, precise distance. Another tip I like to do is narrow my stance. Sometimes when I have my wedges and my stance gets a little wide, it just is hard for me to turn around and really feel connected with my wedge shot. So I actually like to narrow my stance quite a bit when I'm hitting my wedges. This is a personal preference, but I really feel like it helps with my connection. So you don't need to have them touching or even as narrow as you have like a chip shot, but just a little bit narrower than your normal stance that you would have for a mid to long iron. So my stance is normally here for my iron shots. I'm gonna have it about right here for my wedges, and sometimes I even like to open my body just up a little bit. That way I can really kind of turn through and again feel that connection. Personal preference, but it really helps my wedges. So from here I like to just set my weight slightly forward. I never want to have my weight back when I'm hitting a wedge shot. This is where you kind of will hit behind it, lift up, and probably hit it fat. So just set your weight just a little slightly forward, and this will really help with the compression of the golf ball. And I like to do this because I just feel like I can come down right on top of it, and especially off those super tight lies where you might be a little bit nervous. You set your weight slightly forward, you don't even really have to think about anything. So that's just the setup. I'll go through it again. Grab a little extra club, narrow your stance. You can turn it out just slightly if you want to. Weight a little bit forward, and then you want to choke down on your grip. After you have your setup, let's work on the backswing and the through swing. So you really don't have to do much with your wedges, and you don't have to think about much. I honestly just think of connection and my tempo. Almost when I feel like I'm doing too much or trying to manipulate my hands or my swing path, that's when everything goes wrong with my wedges, and it's almost like a bigger chip shot. And so with your chip shot, you're just turning back and through on it. That's all you really want to do, and that's all you really need to do for your wedge swing as well. So narrow stance, slightly forward, and I like to feel like if I had a towel, that the towel would not fall through the entire swing. So if you watch my arms, it was touching my body the entire time, and I really felt that connection through it. And this just really simplifies the wedge shot. Instead, if you have your arms going here and no turning back, who knows what's going to happen on the way down. And so it really feels like a body swing with not much movement or not much going on. You literally just turn back and you turn through. This is where tempo is really important too. A lot of people will take it back really fast and decelerate on the way down. So that's when you get this and they'll hit it really, really fat, or again, they'll hit it thin. So this is where tempo is super important. So I like to think of really anything you can say in your head, you can count, but it's almost like you go up, wait, and then let it fall. You're really not trying to force the grip down or do too much with it. You're almost just letting your hands fall from the top. After you have a good tempo and you feel that connection, we'll work on the downswing and the follow through. I don't really try to do too much with my hands. With my weight set slightly forward, I don't feel like I have to bow my wrist or turn it down as I would with my full swing. And so again, that's why I really like to set that weight slightly forward, so you get that compression without having to manipulate your hands through impact. And then from there, I like to do an abbreviated follow through. Again, wedges is all about control and hitting it a specific distance. So for me, I really like to have an abbreviated backswing and an abbreviated follow through, because I'm just looking to hit it the exact distance that I want to instead of trying to hit it as hard as I possibly can. You can do a full swing, and this is all kind of personal preference, and that's why I love short game and I love wedges, because it's all about creativity and feel. So whatever feels best to you, make sure you practice it and you have confidence in what you're doing. This is what works for me and what I have confidence with, and that is taking more club, choking down, really controlled, focusing on that tempo, connection, and abbreviated backswing and abbreviated follow through. And I will do this on almost all of my wedges until I get to about probably 90 to 100. Then I'll start doing more of a full swing, but even then I'll still abbreviate the follow through. Again, this just helps with keeping it really simple and easy, and I know if I'm going to do this, I'm going to hit it absolutely perfect every single time, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for solid contact, because again, we're not trying to hit as far as we possibly can, we're just trying to hit the exact distance. So connection, and then working on that abbreviation. So really dial in your wedges, take that time to practice. You don't need to spend hours doing it, but you need to be really precise with the practice that you're putting in. So go through your routine, make sure you know the distance after you hit each shot. Most of the tour players will have a TrackMan there, and obviously a lot of us don't have access to a TrackMan, but they always say that focusing on their wedges is the most important thing. And after each shot, they'll go back, look at their numbers, see how far they hit it, and they know how far all of their wedges go. And this technique that I taught you will be applied to all of your wedges. And again, do what works best for you and what feels most confident, because wedges and short game is all about that feel and that confidence. So once you find what works for you, get it dialed in, and then you're good to go. And I promise you, you're gonna save so many shots if you have your wedges dialed in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know you always ask for short game and wedges or that kind of stuff, so I really wanted to focus in on that. Keep it simple, work on your tempo, practice it, take that time to practice, and you guys are really gonna reap the benefits. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment down below on your wedge game. Do you guys like wedges, don't like wedges? Is it a good part of your game, bad part of your game? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next Thursday.